Welcome to Family Focus. I'm Joyce Johnson, CEO of Johnson & Olson Communications and Casting, and today our guest is Melanie Korman, who is from IBM Addiction Recovery. Welcome to our show. It is a pleasure having you on the program today. And I guess the first thing is to say, what are some of the services that people will find at IBH?
Oh, people will find a continuum of care at IBH. So IBH Addiction Recovery offers people with substance use disorder, including those with a co-occurring mental health disorder, the opportunity to regain hope and gain skills for a lifetime of sobriety.
So it's sobriety and drug addiction is that also a part of that?
It is.
Recovery?
It is.
How bad is this issue in our area? You know, for instance, issues of drug abuse, mental health. Is this something that we are seeing a rise in the area?
We are, unfortunately, and I think a good chunk of that can be contributed to COVID. You know, unfortunately, during COVID, all of our worlds were turned upside down, and we had to find a new normal, which is difficult for any average person, let alone people who are suffering from substance use disorder.
Now, when people are dealing with substance abuse, probably getting help is the last thing that they do. They usually have to hit rock bottom. We've done shows on this. When do they come in to IBH, and how far down the rabbit hole are they as far as their addiction and abuse?
That's a great question. We help people at all points in their journey of addiction. Some people that come to us, we're their last hope. It's their last opportunity. They come to us, it's heartbreaking, they come to us very broken, not knowing where to turn, not knowing what to do. And in our continuum of care, we have levels of services that go all the way from residential care, so they have a place to live and receive treatment on our main campus, all the way to outpatient care for people who maybe are not that far into their addiction. We also receive people from the court system who, you know, instead of going to jail may need to complete treatment. And we always prefer that way. Sending somebody with substance use disorder to jail isn't going to help them. We want to give them the opportunity to heal from their addiction, from their disease. And so a lot of our clients come to us through that system as well. And again, they come to us at all different levels of their journey, from all the way to being a last resort. But we also have some people in our outpatient program who maybe are at the beginning of their addiction, notice it getting worse, and wanting to nip it in the bud before it gets to that point. Our outpatient services are nice because people can continue working or going to school and receive treatment as well.
Now, you brought up a good point. If someone is sent to jail, they're not going to get the help that they need if they get any help at all.
Correct.
So if someone is having mental illness, which most people do at some point in their life, you make a mistake, you get an addiction, to just send that person off to jail, unless they're very violent, they're not going to get better. They're going to get worse.
Right.
Right. It's totally worse.
It can oftentimes compound their problem. Right, and then give them yet another reason to continue using. A lot of people with substance use disorder, they're masking a mental health condition that they have. That's their way of dealing with it. Some of our clients that we receive in, you know, we're treating them for substance use disorder, and they may have a co-occurring mental health disorder, but the depth of that mental health disorder may not be fully known until we dive deeper into their recovery journey. And that may come to light even more. And we have counselors, we have a psychiatrist, we have a psychiatric nurse, we have a doctor on staff to help with that.
All right, someone comes to you, knocks on your door and says, I need help. I need some kind of help. What is the first thing that will happen with them, and take us through that process?
Absolutely. The first thing that we want to do is to have them take an assessment. They can be referred to us, or we actually have walk-in assessments Monday through Thursday, where if people choose to come in on their own, which they're welcome to do, we welcome them with open arms, they can come into our Firestone Park location and be, fill out paperwork and be evaluated. Every person that comes in gets a personal assessment. We don't do a one-size-fits-all type of programming. We want to understand where every individual is in their substance use disorder. Where can we meet them? What services of ours do they need that we can provide to help them in the best way possible?
Oh, yeah, and families also, when there is a case where someone is abusing drugs, alcohol, having mental health, the whole family is impacted by this. And I think it's very easy to look at them and say, oh my gosh, this person just did it to themselves, and once they're, but it's a whole family that is involved with this. So what kind of help can the families get from IBH?
That's a wonderful question, and it's wonderful that you recognize that. So we take a holistic approach to treating substance use disorder. We're treating the whole person, but we also recognize that families and friends and loved ones are impacted. And we do offer family sessions throughout the month, every other Saturday, where people they can learn how to interact with their loved one depending on where they are in their recovery journey. We have 5 different sessions that people can attend on 5 different topics to learn how to support their loved one, interact with them in a healthy way, and be helpful to them, and for the family members to help preserve themselves as well.
That is very important because it really takes you down.
It does.
It drains you. They're emotionally, sometimes financially bankrupt from this whole, it's so life altering.
It is.
And the children, children of addicts, what they go through, it's incredible. All right, so tell us some success stories that come to mind for you.
So some of the success stories I get to see and enjoy and actually work with every day. So one of the things that I love about IBH is that we are a second chance employer. That means a lot of our employees actually are in recovery. And some of our employees have gone through IBH's recovery program. Some have gone through other programs, as well. But a lot of them have come through IBH. So it's so wonderful to interact with our staff members who were in our residential care. They were in the beds, in our men's recovery dorm or our women's recovery dorm. They have gone through the program. They have been in the throes of addiction. They have felt that depth of hopelessness. They have done the work. They have healed. They continue their recovery journey because it's a daily thing that people in recovery have to do. And they work for us. And how wonderful is it to have people that work at IBH work with our clients, because they get it more than anybody else. So some of our counselors, some of our residential supervisors, some of our operational staff, they're in recovery too. I love this about IBH, where our staff is very much a family. There's about 100 plus of us, and we'll get an email saying, so-and-so is celebrating 10 years of sobriety today. And we all get to celebrate that. We're all there to uplift each other and celebrate each other's successes. I love those emails. There is a gentleman who just had an anniversary with us who's been with IBH for 41 years.
What's his story? Can you share it?
He had addiction as well. And 41 years ago. So IBH Addiction Recovery is 54 years old. So he came at the very, very beginning of the years that IBH was starting. And he has just seen the growth and changes that IBH has gone through the years. So initially, IBH started as treatment for alcohol for men, for alcoholism. And it has grown today to treat men and women. We have residential treatment, we have outpatient treatment, we have an aftercare program, our IBH's Reach Aftercare program for people who've gone through treatment and want a supportive environment to be in. They get to engage with other people who've graduated from our IBH recovery programs. They volunteer and give time to the community, and they can be together with people who have the same lived experiences. We're always growing to meet the demand of our community. So our services over the years some have changed and some have just grown to be more encompassing. A few years ago, we added a men's recovery house. It's a certified men's recovery house where men can go who are enrolled in an outpatient program. It doesn't have to be IBH's outpatient program. It could be any outpatient program. But if they're enrolled in an outpatient program, if they're a resident of Summit County and they need a place to live, they can come to our recovery house and they can pay rent. Sometimes, depending on the program, they can be qualified for, the rent can be paid for them. And we actually work with some employers in the community to help them get jobs. So
that is so huge. And I tell you, because and a lot of these people going through recovery and addiction had felonies. The fact that they'll employ them right there.
Yes.
And you already know what they've been through and all the things that they've had to deal with in their life. Just giving them a fresh start, that is huge. Helping them, the basic needs of food, shelter, the counseling, it changes lives.
It really does. When people are going through recovery, they have to understand that the life that they were living before didn't serve them. It did not serve them well. And they're dealing with a disease. Addiction is a disease. Mm-hmm. And in order to fight that disease, there is no cure for it. You literally have to change the way in which you're living your life. And we give people the tools to be able to do that. Not only the recovery programs that we have, but we have supportive services too. Like we were talking about the family sessions that we offer. We also have art therapy. We have physical fitness activities, other wraparound services that people can utilize to help them rebuild their life.
That's incredible. And as far as, if people are taking advantage of these services, and, I do remember when it was just men.
Yes.
When did that change occur? Because, all right, so it was basically just men with alcohol problems. Mm-hmm. And so when did they say, hey, women are dealing with this stuff too? When did they start changing some of the programs? I guess just evaluating where the communities are at, correct?
We're always seeing what the community needs. Yeah. And years ago, they noticed, the demand, unfortunately, increasing for women too. Mm. And there were a lot of limited resources in the community to treat women. So we added treatment for women. We have residential care and outpatient care for women. Just like we have residential and outpatient care for men, aftercare program for men and women as well. Mm-hmm. The only thing we have exclusively for men that we do not have for women just yet, but we're hoping to be working on, is the recovery house.
Okay. Now, what is it going to take to make that happen? Because that would be wonderful to have that.
We are quite close to wanting it to happen.
Okay.
And so I'm hopeful that in the coming months we'll be able to actually put that into play.
Oh my gosh, that would be wonderful to have that. Now, fentanyl is just, we read about it, all the deaths and just the impact that fentanyl has had. Has that altered maybe treatment and what can be done as far as that? The fentanyl problem has not gone away.
Nope.
From my understanding. Has it gotten worse?
It has not. Opioids, fentanyl, unfortunately, we see a lot of that. And we have different treatments available to help people with those things. One of the things we offer is medication-assisted treatment. We're one of the only places that offers it with wraparound services for it. We won't just dispense medication and send them on their way. We offer that as a service in combination with our programs. And for some people, that's really one of the only things that is going to help them on their recovery journey. The fentanyl crisis, talk about heartbreaking, has been amazingly heartbreaking to see. I don't know how we're going to get it to subside, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't either. What is an easy solution for that? Because it is just, every community is touched by it.
It is. And one of the things that was really alarming was, it was just last August where we had a national health alert because there were 7 overdoses within 4 days in our community. You know, what is going on? What is going on? It's terrible. So, I mean, it's right here. It's not happening, you know, in another country, in another state. It's right here in our own community.
It's here. We want to put up the information for those that are watching that would like to, you know, find out more about the services. We see the number, and you can go to ibh.org for more information, because this is just such a vital organization for our entire community. And Melanie Korman is here sharing some of the different services that they provide. And if you would like to email me, you could email me at sunaroundtown@aol.com. I'm Joyce Johnson, and we're talking about IBH and addiction recovery services. All right, so where to from here? You got the recovery house, they're working on that. What else would you like to see? It's beautiful out there, I gotta say.
We are so lucky to be on the campus we're on. We have 2 campuses now. Our main campus at 3445 South Main Street. That's the campus where it all started. We haven't moved from there. We did expand, so that's our residential services are there. We expanded then to Firestone Park, and we have a building there. It's only about a 10-minute drive from our main campus for our outpatient services and aftercare services. What a lot of people, some people don't even know when they're driving by IBH, our main campus, they see the long white horse fence, and they think, is that a horse farm? Is that? And actually, we were initially a farm. So our campus back in, I believe it was 1944, it started out as a family farm. All that land was a family farm. And actually, the building that I work in, the administrative building, was built in 1844, and that's where the family lived. Right?
That's a history.
It is. And then in the mid 1900s, it was in the 1940s, Carmelite monks bought the property. They moved in.
You gotta live somewhere.
Right. They moved in, and they brought some additional structures to the property. So initially they lived in the farmhouse, but they actually then brought in used military barracks for their living quarters. And they brought in was a used chapel that they added onto the building. And to this day, that's our men's residential dorm. Now you can imagine the structures are older. A lot of the structures on property are older. I have to tell you, chicken coops were repurposed to house people. We still use them to this day. They do not look like chicken coops, I promise you.
But if you breed chickens, you could have your own eggs right there.
We could.
There's all kinds of ideas there for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
There was an old pole barn on property. So when IBH took over the property in 1970, we repurposed a lot of the structures that were there. And then in the 80s, we added structures. We added our therapy building and our education building, which also has a really large, nice gymnasium in it. So we've grown over the years. However, even our newest structures from the 80s are, you know, in their 40s,
yes.
right? And you know what we're facing now is these aging structures they've kind of lived their life as best as they could, and we've done repairs as best as we can, but we're getting to a point where some of the structures have to be renovated or just simply be rebuilt.
That's my next question. How can people help? And do you have volunteers there? If someone is interested in volunteering or donating or helping with some of this, what can they do?
That's a wonderful question. I'm so glad you asked. If they would like to donate, they can go to our website at ibh.org. We're so amazingly grateful for our donors who support us. Every dollar makes a difference. They can also volunteer with us if they like. We have such an expansive property. We sit on about 70 acres, and it all needs taken care of. So we love having volunteers come and help us with landscaping projects outside. Other ways that they can help is hopefully in the coming months, we're working on a capital campaign.
Yes, which is a huge undertaking.
It is. It is.
Do they need food and clothing? Do they need items such as that? Are there items or household items?
We love receiving clothing. Some people come to us with the clothes on their back and that's it. So we do take clothing. We would love donations of, gently used men's, relaxed clothing, sweatpants, jogging pants, shorts now that we're in summer, tennis shoes, t-shirts, hoodies, and for women as well.
I would think so.
Yes.
So those are other ways. If you don't want to do the monetary, you can donate some of the clothing, some of the items such as that. Household items, cleaners, are those?
Absolutely. We'd be happy to take those too.
And for someone who wants to maybe not work outside, would they be able to volunteer inside, do the building or help in the mealtime? Some of the different opportunities they may volunteer.
Yeah, if people are interested in volunteering, they can simply contact us and they'll be transferred to me. I'm happy to understand what areas people may be interested in volunteering, whether it's an individual or some corporations like to have teams of volunteers come in as well. We would be happy to have that too.
Yeah, have a team come in and clean. Do it for the day. Who wouldn't? Who would not? Anything else that we haven't touched on that would be important for us to know about IBH, addiction recovery, either service-wise or, whatever you would like to add that we haven't had a chance to talk about?
I want to encourage people to talk more about substance use disorder. It has a stigma to it, and we know that. It's a very private matter that people don't like to talk about. But I can tell you from experience, addiction does not care who you are, where you live, how much money you make, what class you're in. It affects everybody. It's pervasive amongst every socioeconomic group that there is. More people are affected by it than we realize. I believe all of us know somebody who has been affected by it, if not ourselves. The more we talk about it, the more we get it out in the open, the more we can help save people's lives.
What are people afraid of?
There's a lot of shame. People have a lot of shame with addiction, which is sad because it is a disease. A lot of times people come to us, I mentioned before, they're so broken, so full of shame, so full of regret. They feel that they have nowhere else to turn. It's embarrassing. They're embarrassed. But we don't want them to be embarrassed. And they're not alone. These people are not alone. We have a whole community of people at IBH to help. And we want people to know that we're here for them.
Totally. We're going to go ahead and put up that phone number again. For those that are interested, ibh.org, and there you see the phone number there. And if you know someone or if you want to help out, reach out to them and they'll find a place for you there. I love that you can just walk in and say, I need help.
Yes.
And go in and get. Now also, people that they're in recovery and then they slide.
Yes.
That is a part of recovery.
It is.
It really, I think people forget that. They're doing really good, and then they slide. That is so normal.
It absolutely is normal. A lot of people think, oh, they were sober for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and they relapsed. Oh, they failed. Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. That is so common to see. And if they have that relapse, that's okay.
Right.
It just means you got to get back up again.
You have to totally get back up again.
Yep.
Final thoughts that you might have.
Well, first I want to thank you for having me on here to be able to
pleasure.
share IBH's story.
Totally a pleasure to have you on here on the program. And we have done more than one show about addiction and people that lost custody of their children. Those people that hit rock bottom, and I don't know where some of them are today, but I think it takes great strength to come forward and get help.
It really does.
Totally.
It really does.
It takes amazing strength to do that. So if you're watching this program, reach out because there's help for you. I'm afraid we're out of time.
Oh, that went so fast.
It always does. It always does. Melanie Korman, thank you so much. And, promoting this wonderful service that is available right here in our community and that is open. If you have a need, they can help you with that. And, we will have to have you on again.
I would love to be back.
I have to say. And we love the fact that you give people a second chance, which, oh my gosh, forgiveness and giving them a second chance and giving them a shot at life.
Yes.
That is so important. And I want to thank you. I'm Joyce Johnson, CEO of Johnson & Olson Communications, and I want to thank you for spending your time with us and joining us for Family Focus.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.